Trench clerics who fight in the Great War include a vast array of both ordained and secular fighting ministers of the Holy Word. They, more than any other element of the fighting forces of the Duke of New Antioch, are responsible for the spirit and resolve of the army. While leadership is of course expected from all ranks of military orders, as they lead the armies of man against the denizens of hell, it is proved prudent to separate matters ratio and rational from matters anima and the divine. While those of military rank can concern themselves with orders, battle lines, supplies, logistics, troops, and the correct combination and application of all of them to arrive at a point of victory on the battlefield, the trench clerics concern themselves with the men and women who are the foundational building blocks of all the aforementioned aspects of the war. One of the finest examples of such are the specially trained Militärgeistlich that the Church militant of the Free State of Prussia dispatches to counter the heretic legion sorcerers and high priests. These warriors of Christ lead from the front lines, where they pit their faith against the fiendish goetic powers of the Inferno, willingly doing battle with some of the worst abominations that hell can puke out onto the earth. Their reasoning is simple, and that is that to stir the hearts of men, you must perform the very acts that you would ask of them, and smite the enemy with your own hand to inspire your fellow man to lift theirs. Due to the importance of their role, the Church and the Free State go to extraordinary lengths to train and equip their chaplains with the finest weapons and armour. There are other reasons for this. The chaplains of the Free State of Prussia have become a lightning rod for the forces of New Antioch, and the countless battles have been swung in the favour of the faithful by the presence of one, as their bombastic sermons and brave actions have inspired even their fellow clerics to greater acts of bravery. This means that should one fall in battle, it can be crushing for the troops around them, and it also means that they have become well known among the ranks of their enemies. A high blood price has been set by the heretic commanders for each chaplain killed, and this price has been doubled by Mammon for captured individuals. Those of intense faith prove to be hilarious playthings for the Dark Prince of Greed, as these priests are prime material in constructing the dreaded Goethic warlocks. For the forces of the Duke, no price is too high to pay to keep these chaplains in the field, leading the charge against the enemy. In battle, these Prussian trench clerics don thrice blessed armour crafted in the sacrosanct workshops beneath Cologne Cathedral. Keeping with tradition, they are styled after the armours of a bygone age, but utilise the latest metallurgical innovations from the Königsberg Institute of Metallurgical Warfare. The heart of the Prussian democracy beats to the rhythm of pickaxes, hammers and smelters, and they are one of the preeminent iron and coal-based industrial economies in the world. The location of the workshop itself is not without controversy, and hints at the often delicate relations between the various powerful elements who have risen to prominence over 800 years of war. Both the Free State of Prussia and the Holy Roman Empire claims ownership of Cologne, the 2,000-year-old city proving to be a key position for both the Free State and the sprawling, tumultuous and powerful empire. This dispute stems from the time when the Free State seceded after holding its first democratic elections. These elections were originally instituted specifically to gain independence from the empire, but proved immensely popular with the people and have remained in place ever since. Luckily for Prussia, the Church considers the war effort more important than petty regional squabbles, and thus far has placed the cathedral under their care in order to keep the war production going. Ultimately, everything serves the war, and the war itself is God's will. The armour, formed from an alloy of materials that is closely guarded secret amongst those skilled enough to carry out its manufacture, is both strong enough to offer the wearer protection and ornate to offer glory to the word of Christ. The chaplain's superb armaments are not just limited to protection, however. They also carry grenades filled with myrrh, hemlock and burning incense, as well as classified chemical substances. When detonated, the shrapnel of these grenades scatters embers that rapidly burn through anything caught in the blast, and they have proven to be horrifically effective at clearing pillboxes and deep-cut trenches, where men, demons, and beasts find their former protections now turning into burning, scalding traps. The standard issue melee weapon of the Feldkaplane are swords. Sometimes they are fashioned after the burning blade carried by the angel that protected the Garden of Eden, while others are smaller copies of the mighty brands carried by the paladins. While some of the chaplains have been known to embrace other weapons, such as the massive hammer of Endrix the Mighty, who left his former life as an engraver when he heard the call of God. He wielded a huge warhammer, and used his former skills to engrave tiny, delicate passages of the Word of God into the metal, until every inch of it was festooned with glory of his work. Many frontline chaplains are repeatedly reprimanded by the Church for their overuse of holy smoke, a chemical compound which uses many of the same ingredients as the martyrdom pills. But, due to the extraordinary mental and physical toll the war takes on their minds and bodies, the practice persists, even though many chaplains are lost to overdosage or have to be retired from active service due to their minds and bodies finally succumbing to the combination of stress, wounds, and damage to the nervous system that holy smoke causes. The Great Hospice of New Antioch treats hundreds of such cases each year, withered husks of men who rarely regain their sanity. Most of them are in such sorry state that they are shipped back to special homes in Prussia, where they are treated with the grace and dignity that befits their sacrifice. Each chaplain carries a reliquary with them, from which their original name, Capellanus, is derived from. The Feldkaplane depicted here, Frere Rainer Schwenter, of the Swords of the Lord division, goes to battle with a carved wooden backpiece depicting the Prussian eagle and a reliquary, said to behold the feather of the angel Uriel within. The Black Eagle speaks to the nation's origins within the Holy Roman Empire, while the feather is thought to invoke the favour of the Saint of Knowledge and Wisdom. As the archangel who delivers the very messages of God, it is a fitting relic for one who parses the divine to the minds of mortal men.